Hello, New York City Charter Schools. This is Tracy Davey with an introduction to the reporting of Regents exemptions in Level 0 for the 2019-20 school year and August of 2020 also. Once the State Education Department canceled Regents examinations this summer due to the COVID pandemic, the State Department of Education could no longer collect this information in the typical way. In all prior years, every time you scanned an answer sheet, the City Department of Education took that data, created an electronic file, and reported that automatically to the state. Once the exams were canceled and they weren't going to have any answer sheets, we found that Level 0 would be the best solution to help you report this information. There are multiple ways that a student is eligible for this exemption. All students who were enrolled, actually what we're looking at here is question number 1 from the FAQ, the frequently asked questions, from the guidance from the State Education Department when they canceled the exams. So any student who was enrolled in a Regents course during the 1920 school year that would have ended in an exam in June and passes that course is eligible for an exemption for that course. If your school had a policy of not failing anyone this year, I know that some schools across the state was doing that, and you gave them an incomplete, then they should be allowed to complete that coursework over a summer school class and would then earn the exemption if they pass the class at the end of that for August 2020. Any student who is in 7th grade and enrolled in a Regents course and who passes the class is also eligible for this exemption. Any student that, and now this one was added, actually the green we're looking at, I should have thought to address that first, were edits to the original FAQ. The first one came out before the state had the ability to exempt Regents exams into the 2021 school year, and that's actually where August falls. So any student who gets into a class over the summer that leads to a Regents exam, passes the class that they're making up, can then earn the diploma credit and the exemption. Also, any student who was previously enrolled in a class that led to a Regents examination, achieved the course credit but has not yet passed the Regents for that course in June or in August, can now earn that exemption and never has to take the test. These are lifelong exemptions, whether you're in 7th grade or in 9th grade. If you were in a Regents course and you did not get to take a test because the tests were canceled, you are exempt from ever having to take that test again in the future. We have 3 main ways for reporting this information. All information can be reported manually in Level 0. This actually is not bad, and I recommend it if you are a middle school or maybe even just like a brand new high school with just 9th graders, and you only have a handful of kids, maybe a few dozen even, who need this reported. It's pretty quick and easy to do it manually. As you can see, most of these are drop downs, and you're just going to pick what you need. I meant to move the screen to the end. Whenever you input data in Level 0, when you are done reporting new data, you always, always, always need to do the L1 data prep. This is actually, the technical name of this template is the assessment template. You would choose Regents, let us know that you're uploading Regents exams, validate your data, and then create the file. But not only when you're doing it manually, also when you import it electronically. And we currently have 2 options to help you prepare the data in a template for electronic import. First, you can go to ReportNet. You would find your school and choose the current school year, and then just select all. Any student that has been reported as taking a Regents course in the student class entry exit template will then automatically be exported for you into a template to be loaded into Level 0. You honestly would have a list of all these kiddos. You're going to take out anyone who failed the class, and the file is ready to upload. There's no additional reporting necessary unless you had some kids who are maybe in an AIS class or who reminded you, or maybe a new transfer to your school said, I still need to get that ELA Regents. then you're going to add them on the, for an ELA exemption, and they're all set. We have another option for creating an electronic import. On our website under resources, we have a blank Regents template that will help you to create a file to import. Once you're in here, you'll be able to quickly look up some important codes for your school. It's populated with one line per exam, and there's a page, there are 10 pages, one for each exam. You can import your class list and the extra names of students who need to take that test. I've got my apostles in here. And once you complete all the fields for every line of students from your class list or those extra kids who need to make up an exam, you would save it as a CSV and upload it into level 0. Just want to cover some basic questions about this. How does ReportNet know which students are in Regents classes? Again, you would have had to reported your student class entry exit template in level 0 already. We will simply take every kid in those Regents courses and export them in the file for you. Be careful to evaluate the list to ensure that if a student failed the class, they're not given the exemption. They would not qualify. This is from question number 20 of the FAQ. Do Regents examinations exemptions apply to students earning diploma credit through accelerated coursework in grade 8? Absolutely yes. Again, they have to be in the class, they have to meet the standards, they have to pass the class. But there's a key word in here. They shall be granted an exemption from the examination and shall be granted the diploma credit. I know that questions have come up regarding, do we have to do this? And the answer is yes. I actually wrote to the State Education Department. This is part of an email with the Office of Curriculum and Instruction. I literally asked, what does shall mean to SED? And that's interpreted as an obligation or must. And additional information, I followed up on what that means. And regarding whether or not you have to report these exemptions, and it's a big yes from State Ed. Failure to do so could be a violation of Commissioner's Regulations 119.3 and Education Law 28541B. And if we think about this in regards to the big picture, it could hurt your accountability rating if students are now not able to graduate on time because they need to repeat an entire Regents course to get to that Regents exam. It may hurt your student success rates. And I think we do know also that it could possibly affect a student's eligibility for the, sorry about the typo, Excelsior Scholarship. The State Education Department provides information to the Higher Education Services Corporation, I want to say. It's a budget office for the state government that helps determine who's eligible for these scholarships. So we definitely want to make sure you're reporting this data. If you need technical help, please watch the next video, whether you and we will have a separate video for each of the ReportNet, the empty template, the manual input to help you out, but you can always call us or email us at this number. And a quick word from our sponsors. Thank you for joining me today.